Well, welcome to Community Crossfire, another point of view. I'm your host, Norman Oliver. Yeah, I changed my theme song in my opening because I need to know, or I'm asking what's going on. It's gotten to that point in our state, our county, in our city, in our country. What is going on? Marvin Gaye coined that song so long ago. Wow. We have an interesting show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, it's going to be kind of deep. We have a young lady on, Wanda Boston. We're going to talk about mental illness because mental illness is a serious subject. I've been wanting to talk about it for some time. I've been wanting to have a guest on for some time, and I've been searching high and low. So Sister Wanda Boston, who's been involved with mental illness, and she's going to bring it to you in her own way. And she's going to answer questions, and we're going to have an open dialogue about that. But before I go to Miss Boston, a couple of things I want to first say. First, happy birthday to my good friend Rena Ruff. Miss Ruff, happy birthday. I hope you're blessed with many, many more. You're 25 years young. I don't know if I've been telling you folks for, I don't know, about a month now. And most people, they watch the show and they hear me and I give you information that you won't get anywhere else. But as soon as the news journal prints it, it's gossip. And so I've been showing the picture of Lisa, I think her name is Lisa Dillard, or her name is Miss Dillard, the county councilwoman. I keep saying, you folks, you gotta pay attention to county council also. What's going on in the county? There's a lot of stuff going on in the county. I mean, like some bizarre stuff. But you wanna concentrate on the city. And every county council person, well, J Street and Penrose Highlands pretty much covered the city. You got county council people in Newark. You got county council people out in Hocassin. You know what I mean? You got to follow county council. There's a lot of money. It's like 400,000 people in county government, and you got 70,000 people in the city of Wilmington. So that should answer your question, even though you may find it boring. I said I didn't think the NAACP, I didn't think it was to the level NAACP getting involved with Ms. Dillard, even though I thought her behavior was borderline bizarre. I thought what she said to Bernard Pebakai was not even borderline offensive, very, very offensive to me as a man. Forget the color and all that kind of stuff. I thought it was very, very offensive. But as soon as the news journal puts it in there, talk about the NAACP, you read it. And I told you this story for 3 weeks. Me, Norman Oliver. Now I see Ms. Dillard writes an editorial and says that she thinks County Executive Tom Gordon it's not about race. It's really about him having a target on women in the county. And also, I don't believe that either. But I would like to have County Executive Tom Gordon come on. I'd like to have Ms. Dillard come on. Even the NAACP. I think that we paying county dollars, we should know what's going on in the county. So that's that. What is going on? Here we go. Someone asked me if I was going to talk about Mike Brown. Nope, Mike Brown's a friend, and I talk about who I want to talk about. I think it's a personal matter. I think it's all, you know what I think it is, to be perfectly honest? I think everybody, that's why a lot of things are not getting done. I think a lot of people right now are playing got you politics. Like, okay, we'll talk about Mike Brown. We'll talk about Charles Potter and what happened with Sean Allen using his nonprofit so they could get liquor license. I've done that before in the past. I don't know if seen anything wrong with it, but because, well, I wasn't elected official then. But my point is, everybody's telling on each other. It's almost like a snitch show. You got Sean, you got Mike, you got the Potters, you got Firefly. I mean, we've been talking about this stuff like it's the debt ceiling. I mean, let's get over it. You know what the guy Andrew Staub? He's probably sitting at his desk and gets bombarded with phone calls of so many people calling, snitching on each other, not telling on each other, high-level snitches, and that's what everybody's doing, and we wonder why nothing's getting done. Before I go to you, Miss Boston, just a couple of things I'd like to talk about. I hear some bizarre stuff's going over at William Hicks Anderson Community Center, too. I got a chance to meet the new director. I mean, I really didn't see anything bizarre, but I'm getting a lot of phone calls, emails, text messages saying that things are going over there like this out of control. And so I guess I got to find something out about that also. Let me this is going to be a segue into what me and you, Miss Boston, are going to talk about when it comes to mental illness.
You can just call me Wanda.
Wanda, okay, can I call you Wanda? Okay, Wanda. The mayor has come up with an ideal about the panhandling downtown and around Riley Square, that he has to have more patrol in that area. And people have called me and said, you know, and I totally get it. I think we do need it in our neighborhoods. But let me tell you this too, we need it downtown. Because if we start losing these Fortune 500 companies, when we start losing these corporations and some of these corporate dollars that the mayor so badly need to keep our city running, you're going to be looking at Detroit, you're going to be looking at Chicago, you're going to be looking at another Camden, you're going to look at a ghost town.
It's taking away
You
jobs.
let these people start moving out, packing their bags, and some of them are leaving, and some of you might not want to hear this. I think the mayor's doing the right thing. And you know, because I talk to a lot of people, if you go in Riley Square, you can buy almost anything. This is what they tell me. You buy any kind of drug. They said they sell their bus tickets that they get for $2, $2.40 I think. They sell them for $1. I mean, it's all kinds of bizarre stuff going up there. One dude, he hit you every 5 minutes. One child was up there. I was like, look, man, you should be in school. So I do get it on a community level because there is too much violence. And I've been saying this forever. We got to create jobs. We got to create opportunities for some of these folks.
That's right.
And if we don't protect those corporate dollars, it could get worse.
It will get worse.
So that's
Can
so that's the stuff that I want to talk. That's some of the stuff that I like to throw out. Let's get over the Andrew style. I guess you probably bombarded. Everybody's calling you about everyone, but let's get over this Foxtel stuff. I mean, it's sad what happened. You know, I've been going to different fundraisers and different events. Ladies and gentlemen, some people behind the scenes, I have no idea. I thought I knew folks. The folks who were behind the scenes making decisions for these states, you'll never see them. I mean, their money is so long, you have to. I was talking to Mr. Gilliam Sr., Mr. Jim Gilliam Sr., who at his age, I think 93, 94, whatever, has more smarts, more sense than most folks 20. He's sharp as a whip. Matter of fact, we were talking about the Lois Redden chair, and I'm going all off the time. How you doing, Wanda?
I'm doing well, thanks.
I've been wanting to talk about this for some time, mental health.
I always want to talk about it.
How did you get involved with mental health? And tell me a little bit about your background before I dive into some of the questions as it relates to mental health.
Well, how I got, first of all, thank you for having me on here. And I first got involved with mental health because my son died by suicide. And he was 22 years old. He shot himself right here in my home. And I never paid any attention to mental health or depression or anything like that, you know, and it was a very traumatic situation because I heard the shot and everything, and our whole family, you know, it's a whole big long story, and it would take me forever to tell it, but he was suffering from depression, and I had no idea. I was taking it as being lazy, and I treated it as such until he ended up robbing a bank. And the funniest thing is that you can tell he must have been going through something because one of the tellers at the bank was a young lady that he went to school with, lived right across the street from us, you know, and somebody that is in their right mind, you know, would never do anything like that. And I didn't know about mental illness or anything until after he died, and I was hospitalized 7 months after he died because I had they used to call them nervous breakdown or whatever, and now it's called a psychotic break. And it happened in church. And I was taken to the Wilmington Hospital from church, and where I stayed for 3 months and given different medications and everything, but they didn't seem to work for me, and so they gave me 8 treatments of electric shocks to bring me out of that psychosis that I was in. I was told by I don't remember any of the 3 months that I spent in the hospital, and I was told by my family that I was very violent, and my sister told me one day she came in to visit me, and it was like 5 or 6 attendants holding me down, you know, because I was violent. But there is one thing I do remember is I remember being in a straitjacket in a room on a mattress by myself, and my pastor praying over me. And I don't want to say it's strange, but that's the only thing that I remember out of those 3 months that I spent in the hospital. And once I got out of there, I returned to work, but throughout the years, I was in and out the Rockford Center because my depression kept coming back, you know, and I was never depressed until after my son passed away. And mind you, I had just gotten a divorce too a month before he passed away. So all of these things together, you know, kind of brought on that psychotic break that I had.
So now you're involved with mental health.
Yes, I'm involved with mental health deeply. I'm dedicated to it because I don't want anybody else to have to go through what our family has gone through. If I can have anything to do with it. And 7 years after my son took his life, my oldest brother took his life. He was with my son when he shot himself because he was trying to convince him, you know, to turn himself in because, you know, his picture was in the paper and everything, but my son kept saying he didn't do it and he wouldn't do anything like that. But my brother thought he finally convinced my son to turn himself in, and he turned, because my son was hiding in the attic, and he turned to tell the police that they were coming down. And when he turned, he heard a gunshot, and he looked back, and my son shot himself right here. That bothered my brother for 7 years. My sister told me that he had said, why did God allow him to be there if he couldn't help him? And my brother was, he was a drug abuser, but he had been drug-free for 14 years. 14 years until 7 years after my son died, my mother passed away from lung cancer, and my brother couldn't handle her death, so he went back to the drugs, and he was depressed, and he ended up 8 months after my mother passed away, and on December the 9th, they found him in a motel. He had hanged himself in the shower.
So when you're dealing with mental health and schizophrenic, right? And you talk about some of your family stuff. Do you think some of it is hereditary? I mean, because some people, right, in some families, right, people are just normal,
some of it is.
the mother and father, but you have one family member that maybe have mental illness. And some of your research or some of your stuff that you've gone through.
It is. My sister suffers from major depression.
So you're saying you think it's hereditary?
I'm not saying I think it is. It is. It's
how can some people, right? Like maybe just one person in the family have it, but no one else is.
They may not know. You know?
Okay.
They may not know, because, like for instance.
Well, what is the sign then? What is the sign?
It's like, okay, here recently, I just went through a depression.
Right.
I did, even though I take medication, and something happened in my family, and it's a chemical imbalance in the brain. It's nothing that, it's an illness, just like diabetes, cancer. You know, you have to be treated for it, and it does not just go away. If you don't get treatment, it just gets worse. Yeah, it just gets
What is the
worse.
treatment?
Medication or psychotherapy, therapy. Yeah.
Like the medication, is it like an antidepressant?
Yes, I take antidepressants. I take medication. I've been taking it ever since I was hospitalized, and that was in 1995.
Wow. Let me ask you. I'm gonna jump around. So,
Sure.
But you know, you said something in the green room that was kind of amazing to me. You said 96%. Ladies and gentlemen, 96% of the women in women's women prison have some kind of mental illness.
Yes.
That's a high number.
It is. It is. And the thing about it is, people who have mental illnesses, they, like, for instance, I don't want to say everybody commits a crime, but you're not thinking logically all the time. You're not thinking like, you know, normal people, and you just, I hate saying normal people too, but anyway, it leads to drug abuse. You know, people self-medicate themselves, and when you self-medicate, you do other things that, you know, lead you into the prison system, you know, and a lot of them aren't getting the treatment needed or the counseling needed. And when they come out, you know, they're just out here, and that's how we have all this recidivism, because, you know, it's like a cycle, and they just end up going back in there. And I'm a part of Prison Fellowship Ministries, and just last week we gave a seminar, a 3-day seminar in the evenings from 6:30 to 8:30 to the ladies at BWCI, and the Mental Health Association came and talked to them about suicide and the different mental illnesses and everything. And this is something that Prison Fellowship Ministries does, and we try to talk to the ladies about mental health and everything. And there should be something in the system, in the prison system, to help these ladies, but it's not.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you just tuned in, I'm talking to Wanda Boston. We're having an open and candid conversation about mental illness. I'm not sure if it's affected your family, anyone else's family. If you have some good questions or have a question for Ms. Boston, she certainly answer it. So if it's 96% in women's prison, what do you think it is in men?
I don't know that.
And
that
then my
number.
next question would be, right? I mean, maybe you may not know the statistic.
It's probably more with men.
Higher than 96%?
Maybe, I don't know. I don't want to say that because it's according to how many people are in the prison system. It's well known that women suffer from depression more than men. That's one of the statistics. And I don't know, men suffer from it, but they don't talk about it openly like women do. Men tend to hide it.
That's bad then.
It is. Men hide it, and that's why we see a lot of our men out here using drugs and alcohol because they're self-medicating themselves. And I just, you know, I have a lot of information, and I just found a pamphlet in my information that says it's a strong link between smoking and mental health, you know? So a lot of people out here smoking, a lot of people who have schizophrenia, they smoke a lot.
Wow.
Schizophrenia, they're chain smokers.
In some of your studies, right, some of your research and some of the stuff that you've done, have you found any correlation even with students? Like, is there mental health with younger folks, maybe it's first grade through 12th grade?
Yeah, mental health is, okay, children that were incarcerated in Delaware's juvenile justice system, 70% of the youth in the juvenile justice system had experienced mental health disorders.
70%?
70%, with 20% experiencing severe mental health condition.
That's deep.
Yeah.
So crime and mental health sounds to me, I mean, you're the expert on it.
I'm not an
expert. Not an expert, I mean, but you've done more
No.
research than me. Sounds like there's a direct, ladies and gentlemen, this is kind of deep. Sounds like, and I don't want to go off because there's a lot of stuff going through my mind right now. What about just suicide? So suicide and mental health is all coalition. It's all works together.
It's together, yeah.
Wow. And let me, is there enough, do you think, there's enough treatment facilities? Do you think the state of Delaware, do you think we take this
I don't
serious?
think they take mental health as serious as it is, because I don't know if you know, but years ago, I think back when President Kennedy or before his time, they closed all the, they called them asylums back then, and they just let people out without any health care or anything. You know, people out of, and that's why we have a lot of homeless people, you know. Homeless people have mental illnesses, and because they don't have, they just let them out without any health care. If you don't have health care and you have a mental illness, what does that tell you, you know? And it's just been going on for years and years and years and years. And people walking around with something wrong with them, and they're not getting the care that they need.
So in some cases, we think people have a drug addiction, have a maybe just a problem learning, but really it's mental illness.
Yeah,
and
it's nothing to be ashamed of. It really isn't.
How do you get it diagnosed?
From a mental health care professional, which we don't have a lot of, and it's hard. It's okay when it's hard to find a good therapist or a psychologist or a psychiatrist in Delaware. It really is, because I find it, I've been through several myself, and we don't have enough, you know, to help the people that are out here. And there are a lot of homeless people out here that have mental illnesses, and our church helps a lot of them, you know, through feeding them and making, okay, NAMI Delaware has housing for people.
What is NAMI Delaware?
It's the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and they advocate and educate and people with mental illnesses and their families, and that's how I came involved with NAMI, because I didn't know anything about mental illnesses, and I heard at Brandywine High School one time the former Surgeon General David Satcher was speaking on our children in depression, and I wanted to know about it because my son had died by suicide. And when I went there, I told him my story, because they have time when you can ask questions, and what he told me really resonated with me, and I took it back to my church. He told me that if all these mega churches would talk about mental health and mental illnesses within the church, think about how many people would be helped. And I took it back to my church, and that's when my pastor allowed me to start a mental health ministry. And I personally think that every church should have a mental health ministry, because a lot of churches don't want to talk about mental health because they look at it as a spiritual weakness or whatever, you know, but it has nothing to do with your spirituality.
Do you find it,
it's an illness.
And do you find it works for you because you're able to talk about it? And would you agree also that most people probably are ashamed, they don't know how to talk about it because they don't even know that they are dealing with a mental illness or some kind of psychosis? Yeah,
psychosis. And I think a lot of people are ashamed because of the stigma attached to mental illness. You know, you're crazy, you know, little different things that people say about it. They can call me crazy all they want to, but I'm well, I'm getting the help I need, and you know, that's what it's all about. And I want people to get the help they need, so you have to have knowledge. You have to get knowledge. You have to go to these seminars that are, you know, provided for you. And there's tons of information at the Mental Health Association in NAMI Delaware. NAMI Delaware has classes that families can take, family to family. Everything NAMI offers is free to the public, but people don't take advantage of it. My sister and I took their family to family course, and it teaches you, if you have a loved one that has a mental illness, it teaches you what that person is going through and how to take care of yourself while helping them. You learn about medications, you learn about the different mental illnesses and what, you know, what happens when that person has a mental illness. And it's a class, it's a 12-week course, and it's 2 hours a week for 12 weeks, and it's free. And my sister and I took it. We were in the paper in 2005 because you may not have seen that, because we took that class and we learned so much in how to take care of ourselves. And we saw in hindsight what happened to my son and our brother, and we trained to be teachers ourselves. So we're teachers too. And it's help out there, but people don't take advantage of it because of stigma and shame, and there's no need for shame.
I'm gonna put the phone number up. Maybe someone, maybe we can help someone this evening. Maybe someone can help us. And I'd like to have a very open dialogue. We're talking about mental health, mental illness. If you just tuned in, if you have some good questions or comments, or if you know something about it, maybe affect your family or somebody else, if you think that it's probably affecting our communities, please call in. You also said something else, Wanda. Like if someone knows someone who has a mental problem, right? How do you get them to get some of this help? You know, like I would think that a person would be reluctant to go get help for mental illness.
They are, and I was myself, you know, until something happened to me. But it's a part of the stigma, and people that are ashamed to talk about it because how they talk about it. But anyway, you can't make an adult go unless they become a danger to themselves or to somebody else. You can't, you know.
This is a good conversation. This is a very good conversation. How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Yes, good evening, Norm, and good evening to you, Wanda.
Good evening.
God bless you.
Thank you.
I wanted to share this. I had a friend who was diagnosed as bipolar. I took care of her for a whole summer, but I think it need to also be looked at the doses of medication being thrown at some of these people. All she did was sleep the whole day away. Then you find some, if you go downtown, you'll see them near Connection. You know, the medicine puts them in a state where they're not even realizing things. And I think that just need to be looked at. Medicine being thrown at them, and that's not really giving them the care that they need also.
So you think, so in your dealings, you think sometimes people are getting overly medicated, you know? I mean,
That's
you understand?
Oh yes,
It's
because
true.
doctors are so quick to just throw things at you. Throw that medicine at you.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
You have to advocate for your own health.
Thank you for the call, that's good.
Yeah, thank you. You do have to advocate for your own health, and you have to want help, you know? And some people are over-medicated because they don't know, you know, if one medication is not working for you, you have to talk to your doctor and until, you know, you find something that does work for you.
Hi, turn your TV down a little bit, please. Hello?
Yes, hi, Wanda. This is Shiffy. I'm
Hey,
so
sweetie.
glad that you continue to get the message across. My question to you is: homelessness and mental health are connected.
They are.
And what is going on in the city around Rodney Square with the mayor is cleaning up that area in Rodney Square. I walk through that area often, and what I see are a lot of homeless people who suffer from mental health. So what ways do you think that problem can be dealt better instead of shifting them or actually acting like these people don't exist? Thanks, Wanda. Keep up the good work.
Hey, that's a very good
Thank
question.
You know what, Shiffy, I don't even go downtown anymore, but I'm sure that there are a lot of homeless people downtown. And
Hold up. Turn your TV down while we're talking, please. Pretty please. Good, I'm sorry, because this is a very important topic right here. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
It's okay. And you know that when they have that makes you think.
Yeah, because your TV's up, right? And it's an echo. Hello?
This is Junebug.
Yeah, Junebug, you got to turn your TV down.
All right, I'll call you back.
Yeah, thank you.
All you had to do.
No, because it does, and I tell people turn your TV down because you
It
see.
stops your
But
thinking.
now you see what I say.
I all the time.
And now you sit here, you see what
Yeah.
I'm saying? There's an echo.
Yeah.
And what she was saying is with the mental illness, a lot of them around Rodney Square, and she says she walks through it. Is there anything that you could recommend?
Well, a lot of people are over medicated because they don't know how to be in charge of their own mental health. You know, I thank God that I know how to, but you have to try different medications. If it's too much for you, you know, they can lower your dosage. But like I was telling Norman, there aren't a lot of good psychologists, and psychiatrists are the ones that give you medication. Psychiatrists in Delaware, there aren't enough good ones around to work with a person, you know, one-on-one.
And you know what, them. Wanda, you brought up an interesting point. Hold on for 1 second, okay? I wonder if some of these shootings and people killing each other have any direct correlation with that. Because I mean, these guys, they just shoot people and they put them on Twitter or something. I mean, it's like no result. How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Yes, hi Norman, how you doing? I wanted to know if the young lady has a personal number that I can have to give to my daughter, so I can get some more information.
Phone number for
you.
For me? Oh,
yes.
Okay. To call me.
We need help, and I didn't really want to discuss it on TV.
Okay, you can call me. My phone number is 764-5618.
5618.
18.
Okay.
Did you? I also have bipolar disorder. I've been diagnosed with bipolar disorder.
Yes, and I think that's what my granddaughter has, and I can't reach my daughter to turn the show on. And I would really want to give her the number so we can probably meet with you and have a one-on-one, because she's in the state hospital now.
Wow.
And we're not really getting too much of, you know, the information, you know, and stuff that we need. So we would like to meet with you and stuff.
I understand.
Maybe you can give us some literature on this or something?
Yes, I have all kinds of literature, and you can get any type of literature on mental illnesses at NAMI, Delaware. It's on 20.
I was trying. Could you spell that for me, please? Because I was trying to figure that out. I heard you say it.
It's just the acronym NAMI. It stands for National Alliance on Mental Illness.
Could you repeat that again?
It's
M-A?
No, N
as
like
in Nancy, A as in Adam, M as in Mary, and I as in is.
Okay.
It's called NAMI, Delaware, and their address is 2400 West 4th Street.
Okay.
Right up there on 4th Street, and they've been there for 30 years.
Awesome.
Yeah, and everything they offer is free to the public. And if you say your daughter has bipolar disorder, I strongly suggest that you take their family-to-family class so you can learn about her illness. And so you'll know. Yeah, it's
that's
free.
We've been looking for something, you know, to help us. And
this is
you
good.
really blessed us with this.
Thank you very much.
God.
I'm glad you called. I'm glad you're watching the show. I mean, this I thought that this would be a good show, and I'm hoping people will call with good stuff or learn something.
And
tonight.
they also have a program called Peer to Peer, where people who suffer from mental illnesses meet, and they go through, you know, different things to help themselves.
Because we got a lot of people down here at the State Hospital. You know what I mean? And like, what was the place?
Never there.
What was the place you said?
The Rockford Center.
Rockford Center.
Yeah.
There's so many. How you doing? Welcome to the show. Hello.
Hi, Norm. Hi, Wanda.
Hi.
Norm, I've attended.
Oh, it's Sharon.
I've attended several of the luncheons that Wanda has had over at St. Paul, and I mean, they have been so informative. And her committee and her sister Diane, you should see the awesome job that they do with putting that information together to inform people. And I just wanted to say this, that she's like a little sister to me. And sometimes I'm going through, and I'll call her, and I hear on the phone where she's going through. But before the end of that phone call, Norma, we are laughing and cutting up, and that's better than any medicine that we could ever take. And the love that we have for one another is genuine. So I just wanted to share that with
Thank you.
and the listening audience. Wanda, you know I love you. God bless,
I
baby.
love you too.
And
Bless
you know, it's amazing that she said that. It's amazing with this show because we all know someone. I mean, maybe not in our family, but someone, a friend, a cousin, you know, or a distant friend that's dealt with mental illness.
Maybe if you have someone dealing with drugs or alcohol, maybe they have mental illness
Just
and
don't
you
know.
don't know it. They
Yeah.
don't know.
How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Norman, this is Junebug.
Uh-huh.
Tell Wanda I said hi.
Hi,
And I'm
Junebug.
sorry that what she gotta say. She's still my buddy.
Okay, thank you, Jimbo.
Hi,
All right, bye.
Junebug.
How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Stormy, I'd like to get Wanda's phone number, please.
Okay, my phone number is 764-5618.
764-5618.
18.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And I think that what you see is a lot of people are calling, reaching out for help, and they probably ask you for your number. And I think that the more stories we probably hear, it'd be therapy for other people. You know, because sometimes
Because we're here to help one another. You know, what I've been through, you know, I can help somebody else. Then they could help somebody else. And that's what we're all here for, you know, to...
ladies and
That's
gentlemen,
each
if you
other.
just tuned in, we're talking about mental illness. And what would be the other word for it, Wanda? Psychosis, schizophrenia?
It's different. It's many different illnesses, disorders. It's bipolar disorder, major depression, schizophrenia, panic disorder, OCD.
What is
different.
panic disorder?
It's when you have a lot of anxiety. I have that at times, you know, when your heart beats fast, you get anxious and, you know, you panic, you're afraid, and you don't even know why, you know, and that happens to me a lot. And
And you know what I'm trying to get to, right?
I don't even know.
And I guess it's different forms of people with mental illness and stuff like that. What I'm trying to figure out, right, is how do you know? Like you said, like you didn't know because I guess your son withdrew and got quiet.
He wasn't taking care of his hygiene and like he normally does, and wasn't eating.
But you didn't know that even yet.
No, I didn't know anything about mental illnesses or depression or anything, you know. Me as his mother took it as being lazy. And he didn't know how to tell me.
And he just stayed in bed.
Yeah, he wasn't himself, you know. He was 22. And
22 is young.
it is, and a lot of, you know, in your 20s, your early 20s is when a lot of this happens, like schizophrenia, depression, you know, a lot of people.
Let me take this call because I'm going to ask you a question about that.
Okay.
How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Good evening, Norman. This is Bernadette. How you doing?
Hey, Bernadette.
I have a question for Wanda. Well, first a comment. Mental illness, as she is saying, is very rampant, and we as African Americans, in many cases, are much in denial about the fact that there might be mental illness because we want to keep on moving and keep on doing. But my question to Wanda is, you're out there and you're very active, and I continue to hear you say that there's not enough mental hygiene, mental illness people around to deal with the problems in the state of Delaware. What, in fact, have you found that the state is doing to try to rectify this problem?
Well,
And I'll hang up and listen to your answer.
A good question.
thank you. I don't know. It's all according to who goes to college for it and takes it in that field. You know, it's not the state doing it. I guess you have to go to school for.
I guess the question is, and I can't speak for Bernadette, but I think what she was alluding to, do you think that there's enough programs, or is the state really doing its job to address this situation? Turn your TV down.
Yeah,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
SAMHSA. What is it? Can't even think of. Well, I can't even think of the people's name. I should have wrote it down. But Rita. See, I'm sorry.
Is she Department of Health and Social Services?
Yeah,
Rita
Landgraf.
Yeah,
Yeah, they, you know, they do a lot with mental health, and That's what I'm trying to say. I went to a lot of their meetings that they had when the state hospital was being charged with, abuse and all of that.
See, that's my point. I know
Yeah.
one of the guys who was out there, who was on the front page. We grew up together. So, I mean, like, we know people who are in
Right.
the state hospital. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm trying to get to.
And I went to the, the meetings that they held and all of that, and
This is deep stuff.
it's people are just not involved, and you have
But how
to
do
be
you,
involved.
how do you get involved?
You just go to different things that are happening. You go to these conferences. You go to
We
these
need
seminars.
to promote it more.
And it's promoted. The Mental Health Association talks about it. NAMI Delaware has conferences,
That's
and
deep.
people just do not take advantage of
Do you
it.
think this? How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Hey, good evening. I wanted to address the issue of detox and treatment centers and the lack thereof. It's just a proven fact that there is only one detox center on Kirkwood Highway. There are no rehabilitation centers. Yes, we do have homeless, and there are a lot of statistics out here. 80% of our state offender population are substance abusers, and they're going without treatment, and 70% of them will be repeat offenders. And we have 25% of convicted offenders that have mental health needs that are going to require treatment, and 15 to 27% of people who are coming out of prison are going right straight to homeless shelters. We have been working with the state of Delaware, with Rita Landgraf and a lot of different people to discuss the lack of treatment centers, and we know that in 2014, when Obamacare kicks in, mental health will have parity with medical. So there should be no reason why the state does not get these treatment centers. We need detox and rehab in every county. And of course, we're working on the Stokely Center in Georgetown to be a huge rehabilitation center, because we're talking about thousands of people here, and a lot of people are dying from drug overdose.
Yes.
The medical examiner's office had 119 pages of the dead in 2012, and that number is higher yet. And we're having a lot of people committing suicide, and as your guest was saying, these young kids, they get schizophrenia when they're like 18, 19, 20. If they don't have the services, here's the problem. We don't have enough education on this subject. I'm glad you're talking about it, Norman. And Wanda, I can't wait to talk to you to get you on board with what we're doing and working with the state to get these detox and treatment centers in every county.
Hey, Liz, hold on for 1 second. I do want to commend and agree with you on one thing. A young lady about a month or two came by my office, and she wanted to get help because she was on heroin and coke. And she was trying to get into detox. And I guess that there's limited beds, especially for women. And she ended up getting admitted. And I ended up calling Herman Holloway Jr. and my good friend Tyrone Brown, and we were able to get her more treatment in Philadelphia. But
Yeah, you have to go out of state.
but
That's the problem.
she had the hell of a time. I mean, then they were going to kick her out of detox right after the 7 days or whatever.
Yes,
And
and
she's like, I'm
detox
not. She's
is
like, I'm
only
not
the
ready.
first step.
She's like, I'm not ready to leave. I want to quit.
Detox is the first step. The second step is rehabilitation.
But
we have no centers.
We don't.
We don't have one rehab center in
So,
the state.
so you're totally right on that issue. And again, I want to commend Tyrone Brown and Herman Holloway Jr. for helping me, because I just was trying to help the young lady because I watched her grow up.
Yeah.
But thank you for the call, Liz.
Thanks, Liz.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say, too, that my brother that died by suicide, he was in the Rockford Center in November that year, because of him going back to his addiction. And he worked at Chrysler. And they told him that he had to leave because his insurance ran out for
Wow.
the year. But he wasn't well enough to leave. And this was Thanksgiving time. And he ended up taking his life on December the 9th.
Ah, that's horrible.
Because they said he had to come back in January.
That's horrible. How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Go ahead. Turn your TV down, please,
Hey.
so we can hear what you got to say.
All right, if you very quickly, it's with Wanda. First of all, it seems like that every time a black person goes to a psychiatrist or hospital, they bipolar. That's the first thing they say. The second thing is about insurance. Only reason why I have been placed in the state hospital over the years since 1980 is because I had good insurance. I believe that. And they keep me telling you insurance run out. But my question is to Wanda, what can I do about doctors? I have several doctors. I'm on quite a few medications. And most of them will say, medications say the same thing. It causes this, it causes that. And I take it upon myself. I'm not taking this. I'm not taking that. Sure enough, I would have died from some of these medicines that have come out if I had continued to take them. Now, what do you in a case like that when you have 4 or 5 doctors that are different for different things? Also, you should take the medication when you know the medicine is hurting you and deteriorating your body.
Wow.
No.
Thank you for the call. This is deep stuff.
Well, I can address that personally because a lot of medications have side effects, and the side effects are not good side effects, and sometimes you have to take a medication for the side effect, you know, so one thing leads to another. And I know that I'm bipolar because I have highs and lows, and that's what bipolar is all about. You either very manic or you're very low. And the medication you take is supposed to level, you know, level it out so you're not either one or the other.
But let's take a couple calls. Then I'm gonna get to the question. How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Good evening, Norman. First of all, I want to commend you and Wanda. God bless you, sister. I love you, and my heart goes out to you for the loss of your son. I can identify with everything that you're saying this evening. I have a brother who is suffering from probably a multiple issues of bipolar, drug addiction, and depression. And let me tell you, I thank you so much for having this topic this evening because so many family members are suffering with this terrible, terrible disorder, and we don't know how to deal with it. I just want to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Norman. Thank you, Wanda. God bless you. And you have really opened up a door for our family because I am going to seek some assistance from NOMLY to get some education on this disorder because we have got to reach out and help each other. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you for the call.
Bless
you know,
you,
I tell you that was. This is what I was hoping.
That makes me almost want to cry.
Yeah, I could see it in your face. But you know, and this is what I was hoping that we would have a conversation like this. You know, and I know that it's some people are scared. You know, because it's touchy to talk about family members or friends and make them feel like you're saying they're crazy or something. But it's an illness.
It's an illness.
And you need help. You know, I mean, you need help. And the only way we're going to get to the bottom of it is like cancer.
Like
you talk about
cancer and diabetes.
Everything. Heart problems. You know, we have doctors. We have all kinds of shows, and this is like one of those shows. How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Hey, Storm. Great show.
I tried to call you.
I saw your number on my
3
cell phone.
times.
I've been so busy, Wanda, with my granddaughter's birthday and all that good stuff.
You're excused.
But anyway, look, you know, Norman, what Wanda didn't share as well as I remember some of that story, Wanda, about your son, was the fact that Norman, he had been so happy because he had gotten a job down at the old Radisson Hotel, I think it was.
Sheraton.
And Norman, he was just thrilled to be going back to work and getting his life together. And the background check came back, Norman, and they fired him. And that was almost the straw, as long as I remember, that broke the camel's back. You know, and I just want to say this: Wanda is truly an angel from Almighty God. He's blessed her and used her, and it just documents, Norman, as it says in the Bible, he uses ordinary people ordinary people. And God knows Wanda is one of them. She tells her story. She holds back the emotions and the tears and sometimes weep. But Norman is so very touching. As you know, she's been on my show several times. I allow her to use my show and to host programs and things. But she's truly an angel sent by Almighty God. Getting connected with NAMI, I remember her reputation for being so involved, Norman, in this and on this issue, that Governor Minner tapped her and put her on the advisory board of the governor for mental health. She's doing it, Wanda. She's doing it. And
Thank you,
God
man.
bless you, Wanda. Love
Bless
you,
you,
girl.
Herman.
Keep hanging
Love
and
you
doing your
too.
thing.
Thanks, Herm.
Yeah, I was on the DPC advisory committee at Delaware Psychiatric Center. I don't really talk about.
This is a good show. How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Herman. Love you.
Yes, I would just like to have one phone number, please.
764-5618.
Okay, thank you, Wanda.
Thank you.
And I think that what you're saying is a lot of people want to talk to you probably off the air. You know what I mean?
Because it's private. A lot of people aren't willing to talk about it out like I am, and that takes time.
How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Hello?
Yeah, how you doing?
All right, I have one more question. It's important.
Okay.
I want to talk about the homeless people again.
Uh-huh.
It's homeless people that come to the Sunday Brunch Mission in St. Patrick's. And a lot of them come from different states, parts of the states, from Virginia, North Carolina, and all that, and they trickle down here. And I don't know how they get down there, how they know about it, but there's a lot of mental issues. And what do you do about people from other states? Because the problem is you can't accommodate everybody.
That's true.
Wow. Okay. Good question.
Well, some things we just can't answer just like that.
Basically, what he's saying is that there are people that's coming from everywhere. And you know what's striking to me, and it goes back to some of the younger folks. And I think somebody older called in, was talking about the medication. I'm afraid that a lot of times, like some of our kids, especially our kids, they hurry up and put them on Ritalin. They put them on all kinds of medications.
Can I just talk about medication
Please
for a
do.
minute? Because I was on medication, and after, I was hospitalized, and during the time that my mother passed away, I stopped taking it because I was this is what happens when you're on an antidepressant. You start to feel better, you feel normal like yourself. You don't have like for bipolar disorder, you don't have the highs and the lows, you feel yourself. So I was under the impression, I don't need that, I'm okay, ain't nothing wrong with me. So I stopped taking it. And I was okay for a while, but I thought I was okay for a few months, and till I realized what I was doing. I was on a high for a while because I started spending money like crazy, and doing things I didn't normally do, like get my nails done. And I bite my nails, I don't get them done, going to hairdresser and, doing stuff like that. And that's not me, I'm a plain person. And I was like living the life, I was traveling, which I never did before, going on the plane to Atlanta and all this kind of stuff. And I was high. Then all of a sudden, something happened with my son, and he had to do 2 years of, what was it, when you violate your probation, and he had to do those 2 years. Man, I got so depressed that I stayed in the house in the dark, in my room, wouldn't eat. This was in September. Wouldn't eat, and I just wanted the dark. I kept thinking of ways to take my life. My other son would come in and turn lights on and go out, and as soon as he leave, I turned the lights back off because I wanted to be in the dark. But what I'm saying is, that shows that I was having, that was my bipolar disorder, and I wasn't on my medication, and I lost 20 pounds, and, people don't realize that the medicine does work, but you have to stay on it.
Let's take just a couple calls because we only got 2 minutes or so. How you doing? Welcome to the show. If you can make it kind of quick.
Yes, hi. Norman, how are you?
I'm fine.
Listen, I agree with the caller that just called. How come we
we have all these empty buildings, and how come they cannot fix these buildings up for the homeless,
And
for the mental ill?
You know, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. You know what happens a lot of time in government. I remember we tried to get, when I was on council, tried to get some place like that. People say, "Oh, we need that," but it's not my neighborhood.
NAMI has housing
And
for
that's
the
what's sad
mentally
about
ill.
But the saddest thing about it is they say, not my neighborhood, but then they talk about
I agree with you. I agree. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. Okay, let me get another call. How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Hey, Norm.
Uh-huh.
Good show. Hey, Wanda, how you doing?
Hi.
Listen, it's a great show. Norm, I think part of the issue is what you're doing tonight. A lot of the time, I think we're really dealing with ignorance. I'm not saying people are ignorant. I mean ignorance about mental illness.
I understand.
It's a complex subject. We don't do a good job in terms of delivering mental health care services. A lot of times people don't know about the services that are out there.
Is that Joe?
And I mean, even like what Wanda said in terms of the things that NAMI does, the lack of participation. We don't talk. We really don't like to talk about mental illness.
You're right. I wish you had called earlier. We're running out of time. So
okay, buddy.
All right, thank you.
Take care.
Who is this?
You too, Wanda.
Who's this?
Who is it? Joe?
This is Gary.
Gary, hi.
Oh, Gary. I didn't even know your voice.
Thanks, Gary.
Wow.
Hey, you got 20 seconds, and we got to sign
I wish
off.
we had 2 hours. I could talk about it.
How you know?
Hello, yes, I wanted to say hi and ask Wanda a question. I wanted to find out what's the difference between having a child having mental health and having what you call hypertension.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It's just that they're winding me down. We probably would have to have folks on again and talk about this. I think it was a very great dialogue.
Have me anytime. I love talking about it because I want people to get help.
And I think the caller just before him hit on those, he didn't want us to say the word ignorance. What he was saying is that our communities were ignorant to certain stuff that is out there where you can get help.
It is.
That's again, happy birthday to you, Raina. And again, hope that all this other stuff. I hope they check into what's going on over at Hicks Anderson. We've been I must have got 20 phone calls and text messages from people all around that area. Sad. Mayor, keep it up. I mean, City Council, let's all work together. Wanda, thank you.
Oh, thank you for having me.
The time flew, right?
Yeah, I know. I just like talking about it.
But you know what?
And the Bible says people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. And we have, the knowledge is out there, but we don't get it. What you don't know can hurt you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, I hope you learned something tonight, because I certainly did. Deep issue. Want to say something about Reverend Bullock. Talk about that next weekend. Penrose and Jay and all you guys. I want to talk a little bit more about county council. Wow, this was good.
Yeah.
This is good. I hope someone learned something tonight. I did. I damn sure did. I'm out of here. Bye.
All right.
I'm burnt out.